Hey guys, welcome to M&MM IELTS. Today I will be covering a very important topic for your listening section, which is sentence completion. It is a very straightforward topic. There is no hidden secret, I would say, behind this topic. And it is not one of those complicated topics as well, provided if you are very attentive, which obviously the listening section is all about, being attentive. If you are very attentive and if you listen to what's being played, you will nail this topic. But if you're not that attentive and if you're just relaxed with the audios that are being played, then you might not be able to nail this topic. So let us understand today how we can smash this topic when we have it in our exam. So the first thing with sentence completion I want to cover is, again, if we go back a few years, whenever you were in your school, if you remember, whenever you studied your English subject, we always had English grammar and we always had a topic called complete the sentences. I'm not sure if you did that, but I feel I did it. So many of the other students might have done it in their school days. And that was called back then complete the sentences. Now, in school, when we did complete the sentences, I remember it was always that at the end of the sentence there was a blank and we had to fill in, maybe we had a passage or an audio or whatever. But obviously, because this is listening section, listening part, nowadays they call it part, it will be an audio. Obviously there will be no passage given to you, so you have to listen to the audio and your answer is in the audio. You pick it up from there and you put it in the blank that has been given. But the change in IELTS is that the blank can be anywhere. So it can be at the beginning of the sentence, it can be anywhere in the middle, or it can be at the end of the sentence as well. So sentence completion doesn't mean that it has to be at the end, it can be anywhere. So please expect it anywhere in the sentence. Now, one sentence will have one blank only. This is also something that never changes, and I would encourage all of you, if you are preparing this topic, please take notes so that you don't have to watch the entire video again and you can just watch the videos where we do practice and all that. Okay, so one sentence will have one blank only. Now, whenever you look at the sentences or the question that has been given, the pattern basically is they will first give you a headline, like a question, a title, I would say. And every time you would see it says no more than 3 words or no more than 2 words, any number can be given, or it might say no more than 3 words or a number. Okay, so basically the logic over here is we need to understand what is a number and what is a word. Any spelling you write down is a word. So for example, if you write down 16 like this will be counted as word. Whereas on the other hand, if you write 16 like this, it will be counted as number. So if it says no more than 2 words, you have to make sure that you write down word only. If they say no more than 2 words and if you write down 16 like this, which is a number, you will not get your marks, you will not get your score. And if they say no more than a number and a word, a means 1. So if they say a number and a word, and means we have to use both. So if I write down like this, 16 days, let's say this is my answer, I will get my score because I have only used one number and I have only used one word. Let's say by mistake you write it down like this, 16 days. Now your answer is correct in your mind. Okay, I got the right answer, but you will not get the score because you have written 2 words and they said no more than a word and a number. So please read the title very carefully. Understand what is the requirement. Are they asking for words, numbers, or a combination, and then proceed with the answers. Okay. The next thing I want to cover over here is, now you might give a paper-based test or a computer-based test. Obviously, that is your decision. Let's say you're giving a paper-based test. Obviously, at the end, they give you 10 minutes to switch all the answers in your answer sheet. So where you can write down options like A, B, C, D, F options are there. But if options are not there, for example, in complete the sentences, you have to make sure you write down the answer properly in the answer sheet. Now, when you write down the answer properly in the answer sheet, you have to be very careful of your spellings, and at the same time you have to be careful of capital letter. So let's say if you're writing a name, a proper noun, and you write down a small letter, for example, if you write down Australia like this is a very genuine mistake. You might not do it deliberately, but it just happens in that pressure of the exam. But you won't get marks for this because Australia A is supposed to be capital. So if you switch the answer, whenever you switch the answer in those 10 minutes, please be extremely attentive and make sure that now that you've worked so hard, you got the right answers. Please don't mess up and lose your marks when you transfer, making those spelling mistakes or capital letter mistakes. Now, the next thing that I would like to cover is about the order. Now, what do I mean when I say order? Order means in every listening topic, you might have seen the videos, or if you have not seen and you're planning to see more videos on listening from our channel, you will realize that in listening, the good thing is whenever the audio is being played, it always gives you the answer in the order of the question. Let's say the question numbers are 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right. And these are 5 blanks. All right. Now, whenever the audio is being played, they will always cover the answer number 10 first, then 11, then 12, then 13, and then 14. It will never happen that first they start talking about point number 14, they give you the answer for point 14, then they say something about 11. No, it is always in the order. So never get stressed that I have to pay attention to all the blanks at once. No, that's not the case. Pay attention to one blank at a time. The moment you are done with one, move to the next one, the immediate next one. Next point that I want to cover is reading. Now, what do I mean when I say reading? What do I read over here? Because it's a listening section. Yes, it is a listening section, but I have to read the title, the very first thing. What is the requirement? No more than what words, no more than what numbers. What are they asking me to do? Reading the title is extremely important. Please write it down. That's the first thing you would do, and that is read the title. Because if you don't read the title, don't just assume that this is sentence completion. This is very obvious from the look of it. I have to complete the sentences, I'll do it. No, please don't be overconfident and just read the title. Next point is just before the audio starts, obviously they will say that you have time to read the questions now. Please read every single question, whatever it is given. Let's say they have given you 4 questions. Read every single question. Why? Because when you read the question and you see the blank, your brain will start thinking what sort of answers you need to expect for those blanks. For example, I'll give you a very genuine example, okay? Let's say the speaker is mentioning about an event, okay? And there is an event organized, and the first thing the speaker says that they are planning the event in autumn. Okay, and then they plan the dates. Let's say they plan 23rd of February, 24th of February, whatever. Let's not get technical here. I'm just giving you any random date. So even if it's not autumn in February, wherever you live, that's okay. It's just not something technical. So now I know planning autumn on, let's say on. So when I read this on, I know there has to be some date, some time of the year. Okay. Now, when you read these questions, look for what words are written just before the blank, wherever the blank is, beginning, middle, or end. And if there is something written at the end of the blank or after the blank, read that as well. Why? Because you will get a vague idea, a rough idea of what can you expect. I'm not saying that your brain will exactly tell you that, okay, this is the answer you need to expect. No, that is never going to happen. It might happen like in 10% of the cases, but let's not assume that that is going to happen. If that happens, you're very lucky. Let's say I don't get the exact picture of what to expect, but I will get a rough picture, and that is more than enough. Something is better than nothing. So I would not go for nothing. I would go for something. So the best way to do is read every single sentence, and when you read the sentence, if you feel that there is something your brain thinks should come here, write it down with the pen or pencil somewhere in the side, because that's not your answer sheet, or whatever rough sheet you have, that's not your answer sheet. Write it down somewhere, and don't write it in the proper answer sheet. Answer sheet is only for writing answers. Why to write it down? Because when you write something, it just stays in your memory for a longer time, and it helps you to understand, okay, this is what I need to expect. So please read the title, read the questions, and the blanks, whatever word is just before the blank, see what to expect in the blank. This is the exercise you do just before the audio starts playing. Now we have covered what to do before the audio starts playing. Let us understand what to expect from the audio when the audio starts playing. First things first, never expect the audio that it will read or speak the exact same sentence that is given to you on your on your question sheet or on your computer. Let's say there is a question given, there is something written here, this is all written. Let's say there is something written and this is a blank at the end. So let's say this is A, B and C, and this is a blank at the end. Okay, never expect the audio will say A, B, C, and then they will expect you to complete the sentence by giving some answer. No, it is not going to be that easy. It can happen in some cases. I'm not saying this will never happen. Yes, especially when there is form completion and all that. Yes, they do give that liberty and they speak exact same sentences and all that. But sentence completion is a place where not in most of the cases what they will do is they'll read something that is relevant to what is written. They will never read exact same words word by word to make your job easy. So don't expect them to help you so much. So what you have to do is every single sentence that has been played or that is being played at that point in the audio is important. You cannot neglect a single sentence in the audio. You cannot just afford doing that, because if a sentence is being played in the audio, your job is to listen to it very carefully, so that if that sentence has synonyms used of what is given to you in your first sentence, in your first question, or something similar with different words, you will find your answer in that sentence. So they might use synonyms, they might just do active passive, they might paraphrase, they can do anything, but they will not always speak it exactly the way they have given to you on your sentence, on your question. Okay, but having said that, the next thing I want to say is the answer that they speak in the audio, you are not supposed to change it. For example, let's say the answer is as simple as 29th August. So you have to write down 29th August. You cannot change it to August 29 or whatever style. Please don't change the order of the words. Don't make it active to passive, passive to active. There is no need to paraphrase. The way they speak the answer in the audio, please write the exact same thing. Yes, you don't expect them to do that with the question that they have given you, but they expect you to do it with the answers that they have given in the audio. So I'll give you one more example. Let's say the answer is scored opening. Okay, this is one of the answer from IELTS Cambridge test papers. Scored opening. You are supposed to write it as scored opening only. You will never change anything in that answer. So please write this down as your notes for this topic. And this can especially get critical, or I would say technical, very technical, when you're giving exam on your computer. So if it's a computer based exam, you have to write it alongside. You just get 2 minutes at the end to check your answers. There is not really any time given like a paper based test at the end, how you get 10 minutes. You don't get that in computer based. You just get 2 minutes at the end to just have a quick look. So when you're writing alongside the answers, you have to be a bit more fast. I would say you have to have a lot of practice. So whenever you decide that you want to give a paper based test or a computer based test, see what kind of a person you are. Like if someone is very sound with technology, computers, their typing speed is superb, they make less or absolutely no mistakes when typing, they can go for computer based test. But most of us, we are brought up in a way where we have used paper and pen in schools, in colleges, while doing assignments. So our grip on paper and pen is way more compared to what it is on computer. So if that's the case, then go for the paper based test, but obviously the choice is all up to you. Another thing that I want to share is about the hyphens while writing the answers. So if they say no more than 2 words, and if you write down the answer as cooperation like this, then this is counted as 1 word only. Whenever you put a hyphen here, it becomes 1 word. So please make sure that you don't not confuse yourself by this hyphen. Hyphen doesn't mean that you make it 2 words, it is 1 word only. Obviously, let's say you have written cooperation, back cooperation. So back cooperation, now this is 2 words. But if it is only cooperation with a hyphen, that means it's 1 word only. So please be careful of that. And next thing that I want to discuss is, or are, I would say, contractions. Contractions means simply the words with apostrophe wherever you use apostrophe, like simple words like don't, won't, can't. These would never be your answers. They would never include contractions in your answers. So never write these in your answers with this apostrophe thing. All right, just simple little rules that I'm sharing about complete the sentences. But now let us do one thing. Very straightforward topic, as I said. Just keep a few things that I've shared right now in mind and you'll be fine. But obviously you need to do a lot of practice, because sometimes, most of the times, the students here struggle with the thing that they struggle with is they expect whatever is given to me on my question paper, the sentence, the question, the audio should say the exact sentence. No, that is not going to happen. So that would be your biggest struggle, because when that is your struggle, what your problem will be, you have to be attentive and listen to every single sentence, and that's not easy to do that throughout the entire audio with a lot of attention. So that is the biggest part that you will struggle with, and the only way out is to practice and make sure that you do not underestimate any single sentence from the audio, and you take every single sentence seriously and with importance. All right, so I have the question now in front of me. What I'll be doing is, first things first, as I said, read the question. Complete the notes below by writing no more than 3 words. Okay, which means I have to use words only, and I cannot use more than 3 words. Okay, in the spaces provided. Now, quickly read the questions before the audio starts playing. So the first one is, the government plans to give dollar dash to assist the farmers. This money. So here I am very sure that there has to be certain amount. So I'll just write it down here, amount. If you're not sure, that's okay. Don't write anything. To assist the farmers. Okay, this money was to be spent on improving Sydney's dash, but has now been reallocated. So this is something very unpredictable. Improving what? We have no idea of the scenario. So something has to be improved in Sydney. So what I'll do is I'll just underline these 2 words. I know it is regarding Sydney. It is regarding some sort of an improvement. So these 2 words are very important. Next, Australia has experienced its worst drought in over 50 years. Now, after reading drought, I know here something has to be related to drought. Drought means the first thing that comes to my mind is rain or water or whatever, because drought means when there is no water. So something related to that has to come in this blank. In over 50 years, farmers say that the money will not help them because it is not, can't predict. So some reason. Farmers have said that the money will not help them because of some reason. Okay, obviously you won't have this time in exam to do all this exercise, but if you have done 50 questions before the exam as a practice, when you're doing the 51st question in your exam, it won't be that difficult for you. So it's all about the number of questions you practice. The more the merrier, I would say. The next is, this is something different. All right, so let's do something. Let's just focus on 3 for now, and let's play the audio and see how we go.
The Prime Minister has pledged today that he will make $250 million available to help the drought-stricken farmers who have not seen rain for years get through the next 5 years.
So this was pretty straightforward and simple. He simply said that prime minister, which is government. All right. So as I said, they might not give you the same and the exact word, but they might use something synonymous. So here it says government plans. In the audio it said prime minister plans. So obviously prime minister is part of your government and plans to give 250 million. So over here I have written 250 obviously like this and million like this. And this says no more than 3 words. I am within my word limit, so I'm absolutely fine. If you write this in words, that is in spelling, how will you write it? 250 million. Now, how many words is that counted as? 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you are asked to write not more than 3 words. So if you write like this and you go outside 3 words, even if your answer is right, you will not get marks for it. So what you have to keep in mind is not only you write down the correct answer, but you also make sure that you are fulfilling the criteria. Always read this, understand what is the requirement, and then answer accordingly. All right, let's move on.
Farmers who have not seen rain for years get through the next 5 years. Money that was to have been spent on the restructuring of Sydney's road system has been reallocated to what the Prime Minister described as
very simple. Restructured, reallocated. See synonyms. So they have done that. And Sydney's, it was very clear. They have said Sydney's. So Sydney's road system. And road system is 2 words. And we have to write no more than 3 words. So it's right. But how will I write down road system? Road system. So R and S have to be small letters. If you write them capital, you will not get a good score. Okay, because it is not the beginning of the sentence. The beginning of the sentence is here. This money was to be spent on improving Sydney's road system. So this blank is actually in the middle of a sentence. If it was the beginning of the sentence, then my R would have been capital. Small little things, but very crucial.
a more worthy cause. Farmers are to receive financial assistance to help see them through the worst drought in over 50 years. Many farmers feel that while the money is welcome, it has come too late to save them and their farm.
This is what the farmers said. It's too late. Okay. So I was very attentive that he said that, okay, 50 years, and farmers said that it won't be of help because, obviously he did not say because, but farmers felt it is too late. So obviously farmers felt and farmers say is the same thing over here. So again, being attentive is very important. The answer over here is too late. Obviously full stop you don't have to put, it's already there. So that's job done. So we've completed 14, 15 and 16. So this is how sentence completion is. It's not that the answers are very difficult. Like look at the words, road system, 250 million, and this is Cambridge practice test. So obviously that is like a standard. It's very, very good. You should do it. So they are not going to give you questions which will never be, the standard of the exam. So the questions are not difficult. It all comes down to a point, and that is, are you listening to every single sentence in the audio? With that, I'll take your leave. I hope you enjoyed this video about sentence completion. Please practice a lot of questions, and if you have any doubts regarding any topic or any questions that you have, you can always put that in the comment section below, and we are more than happy to answer those questions for you. Bye for now.